Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I'd have to admit that this is a special day. In fact, every day is a special day for me. This week I lost my sister-in-law, and I'd like to offer condolences to the family. I want to take a moment and say that this is a wonderful family, and I'm so glad to be married into this family. And I do really, really, I'm going to miss my sister-in-law. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I used to be a preacher, like you understand a preacher to be in the pulpit, espousing the message of the scriptures as best as I can interpret them. I don't do that anymore. I'm in the streets. The reason I got out of the pulpit because people used to ask you to pray for them. You know, that was one of the things that you would consider always doing as a child of God, as a lover of the people, and having a relationship with God. You would always pray to people, pray for people. And people would ask you to pray for them. They'd always ask you to pray for basic things that, even though we were different people, the commonalities would be there. Basic essentials of survival, life, same old things. And I used to, honestly get on my knees and pray. Sometimes walk around in the night praying to God for these prayers that I'd been asked to make. And I'd ask God when, after a period of time, nothing had happened. I'd ask God, what's the problem? Great God, what's the problem? And I have to say one of the reasons why I am a servant of God is because God always responds. He says that the answer has already been given. The things that the people are praying for is put before them. They have to exercise their choices. They have to exercise their understanding, their intelligence, their learning, their capacity to care for one another, to be able to reap that which is there for a certain kind of people. And so when I tell them this, they don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. And so I just talk in the streets. I'd run for public office. I'd do whatever is necessary to try to reach you, the general public. And I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, the reason that I do this, as opposed to all of the other individuals, why do I do it? I don't have a church when all these other people got a church. Why? Because they were given to have a church. I wasn't given to have any of that, but I was given to have this. And why do I do it? Because I was touched. I was selected to do exactly what I'm doing. I didn't know it at first, but what I'm basically saying is that the power of the invisible God touched me, that I would know and understand and have made the choice of the invisible God over the man God. And so as such, ladies and gentlemen, I really feel good about the decision that I made. I really feel bad about the fact that I've lifted up God's love in such a way that you, the people, all of the things you were asking to be prayer for, that God would deliver for you. You looking for a miracle. You're looking for some magic. You're looking for something that just be set down to you. It ain't happening. So, it's like the lottery. You buy that ticket. You're looking for something to happen. Oh, it doesn't matter. You might be a little spit in the ocean, but you buy that ticket, hoping in that little spit. You know darn well you're not going to get anything out of that. Well, anyway, but you won't take that on God. And one of the things that I like to highlight when I say I'm so glad is that when I think about, as old as I am, when I think about all my life, there's been a separation between black and white people. There's been a separation between conservatives and liberal, whatever that means. Even though the people got the same aspirations, the same desires, the same requirements, the same wants of life, but they want to split it up, how you get it. And the reason they do that is because neither of them are getting it from God. They're trying to outsmart the other one to get it. The liberal view is going to outsmart the conservative view. Conservative view is going to outsmart the liberal view. And what happens? After all my life, we just repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. But me, I say, ladies and gentlemen, that God touched me. And so I tell the people the truth. I share with you the exact truth. And this is this. God made this earth. I'm telling you one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that you see exists. God had a hand in it. everything. You're here on this earth by the power of God. Everybody on this earth requires certain things for survival, and everybody wants to survive. And so the resources for survival have been implanted here on this earth that no one would suffer from a lack thereof, whether it's seen, unseen, on the earth, in the earth, above the earth. And how do you manifest this? You manifest it because everyone benefits from it. Then there's a way that everybody engage themselves in the process of making sure that there's enough, a greater enough abundance that no one would have to ever suffer anything. And that's why you got your gifts. That's how you put yourself in there. You involve yourself. You create all of the things that exist right now and more of. Now the problem today is that God's way does not require any money. You see, that's man's way. Man's way requires money because that's the con game. That's the game that they use to play and manipulate and rob the rest of you. And they can live on Peel Hill while you can make it if you can. Well, see, ladies and gentlemen, it really got me. Out of all these years that I've listened to people talk about God, I've listened to the whole message from black and white people. I've listened to the big mega churches, the big boys, you know what I mean? The big boys, the one that making all the money, writing all the books, and all the people are coming in here and they're on television getting PR and all that kind of stuff. And then a man comes along like Donald Trump that represents everything different than what God is about. It represents everything different than what Jesus Christ is about. Represents everything different than what even the Bible talks about. And what happened? The whole right wing, maybe not all of them, but most of them, especially the bigger you are, the crooks, right wing conservatives, evangelicals and fundamentalists, all white, there's a few black ones in there, went and jumped on the bandwagon with the Antichrist, with the anti-God. And then when things started falling apart, they started calling on the God to come and whip everybody else that was in this man God's way. Isn't that something? But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? That's how it works. People can be deceived. People are tricked. But now the people who've been tricked by this monster, they got to admit they were tricked. They don't need them trying to hold on, think it's going to change. It's not going to change. You've been tricked. And God wants you to know you've been tricked. And the way I've just shared with you about how nobody's supposed to suffer, I just shared with you, and that's God's way. That's God's way. And any other way is man's way. Republican and Democrat, man, woman, it doesn't matter, black or white. You're never going to fix it unless you do it God's way. I rest my case.